The Chicago Bears have made another selection in the 2025 NFL Draft. It is Shemar Turner, the defensive lineman out of Texas A&M. Welcome to Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. I specifically said defensive lineman because my brain is starting to kind of spin a little bit. I'm wondering if he plays a little three-tech and edge because he's kind of a tweener from a measurable standpoint, and we know Dennis Allen loves his big boys coming off the edge. 6'3 and an eighth, 290 pounds, so he could be a three-tech. He could play some kind of big edge. Maybe as a pass rusher, you kick him inside. Rundowns, he plays more edge. We'll see how that all breaks down on the defensive line. He was viewed as a potential first-round pick before I think it was an x-ray showed that he had a foot injury, so he didn't work out at the combine or really do any pre-draft stuff. But he's got big-time potential. In 2023, he showed a lot of pass rush ability, but played more D-tack last season. Did not excel as much. Only had 2 sacks in 21 pressures. I'm going to pull up his stats just real quick from 2023 just to put these in comparison for you guys. That year, he had 11 tackles for loss instead of 6. He had 6 sacks instead of 2. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up playing on Dennis Allen's defensive line. But I like the pick. He's got the measurables in terms of arm length that Dennis Allen looks for in a defensive lineman. You know, I kind of thought maybe you go Jack Sawyer here, but he's got shorter arms. So this is a higher upside type of selection. Higher upside type of swing. Jack Sawyer is probably just going to be a solid 10-year pro. Stewart's maybe got a little more boom bust to him, but if he hits, he could be really good, especially in a Dennis Allen scheme. I'm just fascinated to see how they mix and match. To me, they got a lot of versatile players that can play inside and out. We'll kind of break that down when we look at the depth chart here in just a moment. But help us out. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 121,000 subscribers by the end of day 2. As of now, the Bears have no more picks left on day 2 after they made a trade earlier, which we can remind you guys of here in a little bit. But if you want to have daily Bears content, full draft coverage, all 7 rounds, we're going to be here regardless of when the Bears pick or not. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You're home for Bears draft coverage on YouTube. So just kind of my early, spot here. I think you slide him in as the backup 3-tech. And again, I don't even know who's going to be the starter. I kind of view the Bears defensive tackle group is just like waves of players you can bring in, right? Grady Jarrett, Gervon Dexter, Andrew Billings, Shemar Turner. They kind of all do different things. Dio Adengbo apparently is going to kick inside some, which he's been more effective as a pass rusher on the interior, better run defender on the edge. I'll give you one just kind of counter reaction. I mean, Zach Pickens is cooked. I don't know where he fits in. We don't even have – Chris Williams is in the mix as well. We know the Bears liked him last year. So you got a lot of depth at that defensive tackle spot. I wonder if Turner plays some edge as well. Does Dexter play some edge? Because you are much deeper at defensive tackle, especially if you count Adengbo, than you are at edge. You've got Sweat, Adengbo, and Booker. After that, I don't know who your edge rushers are. Daniel Hardy's going to be on this team, but primarily as a special teamer. Is Dominique Robinson making the team again? We'll see. But you got a lot of different pieces on this D-line. You're kind of going with like a depth, just waves of pass rushers, defensive lineman approach. And we saw that with the Eagles last year. They didn't really have that dominant 15-sack guy, but they had about 8 dudes that could rotate in and be really effective. I'm not saying this is the Eagles D-line, but the philosophy part of it checks out if you're trying to go with that style. Now, this was the trade that kind of move things around. So the Bears drafted Colston Loveland at 10, Luther Burden at 39. That was chalk in terms of the picks they had. Then they traded down from 41 to 56. They took Ozzy Trapilo there, the offensive tackle out of Boston College. They moved up from 72 to 62 to make this pick for Shemar Turner. And they traded Buffalo a 7th for 109, so they have an early 4th. So right now they don't have another 3rd, but you kind of view this Turner pick as the 3rd that you had. You were just able to make it a little bit earlier. Dane Brugler has this to say about Shemar Turner, the draft analyst from The Athletic. Turner needs to introduce more discipline to his play style, but he prides himself on being the aggressor, love that, and relies on his initial twitch, fierce hands, and combative mentality to be a factor. He projects best as a penetrating one gap tackle. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I think he's got versatility. I'll be curious to see where he plugs in on a defensive line. I think he's got kind of the measurables to move around. And, you know, defensive coordinators like guys who can do different things. So I think Shemar Turner is going to be a guy that they view as someone who can do some different things. Grade the pick. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give this a solid B. You needed a defensive lineman. Really, you could add edge or DT. Feels like this guy could do a little bit of both, so you get a versatile guy. I think his range was probably 50 to 75, so you kind of get him right in there. If he could reach his potential, again, he was viewed as a potential first-round pick before this foot thing popped up, and I would assume they feel good about that if they're going to take him here. We'll obviously wait and see between now and training camp. I think we actually got a report a couple weeks ago that he got a clean bill of health, so he's good to go. I'll have to double-check that, but A, B, C, D, or F. Okay, more thoughts overall on what the Bears have done so far. As of now, they don't have another pick here in day 2. But first, we are sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS to get signed up for the best daily fantasy sports app out there. It's the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of people, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Run your game all season long with PrizePicks. You can pick more. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 players, up to 6 players on 2 or more different teams for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. The more players you're in a lineup, the more money you get paid out if you hit. Smaller lineups, easier to hit, but less payout, obviously. So you can kind of decide what type of lineups you like to throw out there. Already got some season-long stat projections. Colston and Loveland, take the more because I'm choosing to be positive vibes guy. 599.5 receiving yards. Take the less on Saquon Barkley. I think he comes back to the mean a little bit after a monster season a year ago. 3 extra money on this entry, $10 to win 30. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The code CLNS is going to get you a $50 bonus. Guaranteed. Doesn't matter if you win or lose that $5 lineup. Just got to place it. Got to use our promo code to be eligible. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Code CLNS. Link is in the comments and description. All right, so as of now, this is where the Bears sit. Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan. Luther Burden, the receiver out of Missouri. 2 guys that are really good after the catch, smooth players offensively, really juiced up player in Luther Burden. That's going to be a fun player in this offense with Ben Johnson. Ozzy Trapilo, you get offensive tackle, depth, and competition. And then Shemar Turner. And now that leaves the Bears with 109, 148, 233. You could probably package 148 and 109 together if you wanted to get back into the 3rd round, but then you wouldn't pick again until round 7. So we'll see if the Bears are done for the night or not. Couple things they haven't addressed. They have not added a running back, interestingly enough. So what does that mean for that running back room? Will they add someone at 109? I think there will be some good players there. 148, you could still find some guys as well. Edge, again, I think Turner's kind of a flex. We'll see if he plays some edge. We'll see what they kind of say about him in the media. We'll hear later tonight. You add Trapilo, offensive tackle, Turner, defensive tackle. We mentioned the other picks. So you're attacking this thing. I think the first 2 picks were BPA on their board. I think Trapilo, they probably, I don't want to use the word reach, but I think they wanted to get a tackle, and guys are starting to fly off. And then Shemar Turner, high upside guy. I think they're taking a bit of a calculated swing here. If he's healthy and he reaches his potential, and the Bears have a really good defensive line specialist and Bill Johnson, who's done it for a long time. He's a big physical player. Turner is. Dennis Allen likes those type of defensive linemen. Then, man, if he can hit, he could be really, really good. Okay, who should the Bears draft next? Let me know down in the comments section. By the way, for the Cam Scadaboo hive, maybe he falls to 109. I'd like it a lot at 109. Let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe. We will continue to react to every single pick in the NFL draft and with deep analysis of every single Bears pick. And as of now, no more picks today, but join our live stream if you're watching this not on live, and who knows, maybe we'll trade back up. Bear down.